blitzkrieg tactics of the German war machine. Britain is valiantly standing at bay. China and Japan are locked in total war. Half the world is enveloped in bloody conflicts. And incredibly, the United States of America is still asleep. It is 7:55 a.m., December 7th, 1941. A peaceful Sunday morning over 70 years ago at a place called Pearl Harbor in the beautiful and serene Hawaiian Islands. America's greatest naval base is awakening this morning with most of the fleet anchored peacefully within the confines of the harbor. People are going about their normal routine on Sunday. Perhaps they're playing baseball like they are here today. Perhaps they're making plans to go to the beach with a pretty girl or go to church. The Imperial Japanese Navy approaches and launches the first wave. 189 fighters and bombers from Japan's first air wing head towards Pearl Harbor. So confident of total surprise are the attackers that as they approach the island, the coded signal indicating a totally successful surprise raid is flashed back to the carrier task force before the first bomb falls. A single remote radar station had spotted the incoming raiders, but mistook them for a flight of B-17s due in from the mainland. The B-17s arrive and, like America itself, find themselves in a war that had not been declared. The attack from the Japanese aircraft carriers Akagi, Akaka, Hiru, Soryu, and two new carriers, the Shokuku and the Sweatkuku, lasts a little over 2 gruesome hours. Pilots all over the island jumped into action. At Wheeler Field, Lieutenant Philip Rasmussen woke to the sound of bombs, jumped out of bed, strapped on a .45 caliber pistol over his purple pajamas, ran to find a working Curtiss P-36 Hawk, was joined by 4 more P-36 pilots, and took off to engage the Japanese. Pilots Rasmussen, Lewis Sanders, Harry Brown, Gordon Sterling, and Malcolm Mike Moore managed to shoot down a few of the Japanese Zeros, Vals, and Kates, but the enemy numbers were overwhelming. To a couple of P-40 Warhawks, got them fueled and armed, took off, and quickly found themselves in the middle of a real battle. These 2 pilots caught up with the Japanese close to Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field and engaged the Zeros, Vals, and Kates with .30 caliber guns. Taylor and Welch quickly ran out of ammunition, landed at Wheeler Field near the center of the island, refueled, reloaded, caliber ammunition, and took off to fight the Japanese again. The 2 are credited with downing a total of 6 Japanese warplanes before their own planes sailed. Both pilots received a Distinguished Service Cross for their actions that infamous day. 402 U.S. planes were on the ground at the beginning of the attack that day. 188 were destroyed, 159 damaged, and 155 were left on the ground in various stages of disrepair. The first wave of 189 Japanese Zeros, Vals, and Kates hammered Hawaii for an hour and 40 minutes. Then came the second wave of 171 airplanes to continue the strafing, bombing, and dropping of torpedoes for another 120 minutes. A total of 360 enemy warplanes. As the attack proceeded at Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field, the devastation was awesome. eastern edge of Ford Island in the center of the harbor, 7 battleships lay at berth. The California, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Tennessee, Arizona, and the Nevada. The initial wave of Kates hit the Oklahoma, California, Nevada, West Virginia, and the Utah. These Kates were equipped with special shallow-running torpedoes designed specifically for the attack on Pearl Harbor. You see, the shallow waters at Pearl Harbor would not allow the use of normal deep-running torpedoes. Then came the Val dive bombers, armed with 1,700-pound armor-busting projectiles made for 16-inch battleship guns, but converted to aerial bombs. These planes dived down on the Nevada and Arizona. Anti-aircraft fire veered the Vals away from the Nevada on the first wave, but the Arizona wasn't that lucky. A bomb stabbed the Arizona through her forward magazines and exploded, touching off more than 1 million pounds of gunpowder. A sailor on the Nevada watched the Arizona jump up at least 15 to 20 feet in the water and break in two, forever entrapping 1,200 American servicemen in an underwater tomb. The ship sank in less than 3 minutes. The flight of 16 B-17s coming from the mainland arrived and are immediately attacked by the Zeros. In the confusion, the B-17s were shot at, friend and foe, and the frightened crews landed wherever they could. One in a pineapple field not far from Pickham Field. Meanwhile, at Bellows Field on the northeast coast of the island, more U.S. Army Air Corps pilots were racing to their P-40s. Just then, Japanese Zeros appeared and started strafing runs. One P-40 pilot was killed as he stepped into his cockpit. 2 other P-40s were down just as they got off the ground. What you see before you today may look like organized chaos, but I want you to know that this is well choreographed and planned in minute detail. The pilots are excellent and experienced professional pilots, and they're doing a marvelous job today for us. The B-17 you see flying across the field is Texas Raiders, one of 2 B-17s belonging to the Commemorative Air Force. As he makes his pass, you'll notice that he only has 1 landing gear down. This is a tribute to those men who flew B-17s, got shot up in the process of a bombing run, but somehow managed to struggle back to base, only to find themselves with an inoperable gear and had to crash land. Just because you finished your bombing run doesn't mean the fight is over. At the conclusion of the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, more than half of America's entire naval fleet had been destroyed or damaged. Nearly 2,400 Americans were killed, over 1,200 wounded, and at the time, 960 were missing. 188 aircraft were destroyed, 159 were damaged, and just 155 aircraft were left on the ground. 2 battleships, 3 destroyers, and 2 light cruisers were destroyed. 6 battleships were damaged. Our greatest naval base lay in ruins, along with our complacency. There's B-17 Texas Raiders simulating a gear-up landing. These Japanese replica is obtained by the Commemorative Air Force after the movie Tora Tora Tora, and have been maintained in excellent condition ever since. The following day, December 8th, 1941, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt announced our entry into World War II with these words to Congress: "The citizens of the United States and the world."
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
In the 44 months of fighting that followed, the United States sank every one of the Japanese aircraft carriers, battleships, and cruisers of the Pearl Harbor Task Force. Nagasaki, the city where the special armor-busting bombs were made, was destroyed by a U.S. atom bomb on August 9th, 1945. And when the Japanese surrender document was signed on September 2nd, among the U.S. warships in Tokyo was the West Virginia. Would you please join me in a moment of silence in memory of all those who lost their lives that infamous day?